Okay, last time we began looking at Chandler Avenue and we bought some stuff at the electronics store. We found a bottle of scotch in an abandoned, crawl space behind the old pizza parlor. Um, but we've got more to do. Nope, that's not what I want to do. I want to close the panel. We're going to go visit Rook. We owe him some money too, and we're going to pay him right away because that's good for our good boy points. And then we'll continue to explore some new areas. Maybe we can check out the Fuchsia Flamingo, and maybe we'll go visit our good friend Reverend Gary and hear about the glories of a vegetarian diet at some point. Oh, and we also need to go into the sewer because I think there's money down there from the drug dealers. But let's start with Rook because I think this is sort of the last big conversation hub we're going to hit for a little bit.
Rook's been running his pawn shop since sometime before the Eisenhower administration. He's a crusty, mean-spirited little troll who's rumored to have a heart of gold. Yeah, sure. He lets me buy things on credit occasionally, but then he nags me ruthlessly until I pay up. We get along all right, as long as I keep my bills settled.
Up already, Murphy? And it isn't even lunchtime yet. Or am I still asleep? Having a horrible nightmare.
Here you go, Shorty. I told you I'd pay you back as soon as I got a case, didn't I?
Well, let's pop the champagne and have a parade. Murphy paid me back.
I'd love to drink some bubbly with you, Rook, but I'm pretty busy with the case. That's another reason why I stopped by.
Ordinarily, Murphy, I'd tell you what to do with your irritating questions. But after all, you did pay me back. I suppose I can spare you a few moments. Never heard the name in my life. No. Next question. I've seen this man before. He came into my pawn shop. I've seen this man before. He came into my pawn shop several weeks ago and pawned an item. If you want to find out what he pawned, I suggest you find him and ask him. They finally found Rusty, dead as disco. And I, for one, couldn't be happier. I didn't care much for the drug dealers, illegal novelty smugglers, and out-of-work clowns that used to hang out at the fun house. The man in your photo told me his name was Tyson Matthews. The warehouse was turned into a storage facility. I have items stored there myself. The rates are very reasonable. How should I know who that is? I've only seen the name on the marquee outside the Fuchsia Flamingo. The Flamingo looks a little too flashy for my taste. Nilo's run the Ritz for years. He's a pig. But at least he pays cash when he buys something from me. Never heard the name in my life. He took over the electronics shop after the fat man left. It seems pleasant enough. You know enough about me. Louis's a good man. He seems to like you quite a bit. I can't figure out for the life of me why. Oh, Chelsea. If I were a younger man, you wouldn't have a chance with her. I'll admit you have some skills as a PI. It's your social skills that need desperate help.
Okay, well, through those insults, we did uncover a little bit of new information. We now know that Dr. Malloy, aka Tyson Matthews, has pawned something here. And presumably, that means we can acquire it by getting his pawn ticket, which, fingers crossed, is in his room, which, fingers crossed, we are about to gain access to. Let's try the Fuchsia Flamingo.
The Fuchsia Flamingo certainly has the nicest doors on the street.
Can't go in that way. Maybe we can get in the service entrance, but I'm not going to try that right now. So instead, let's go to the sewers. So I am pretty sure that we're safe here. But if I die, then I guess I'll be proven wrong.
I think I'll let that box float right where it is.
Let's see what we can find down here. I know that there's a panel or a false wall in the sewer wall somewhere. But I also think that one of these boxes floating in the sewers we can open. And maybe it's this one?
Well, this box looks like it hasn't rotted through yet. Well, this box... a chisel. Maybe someone's been down here doing some prospecting.
Cool. A chisel. Let's see if we can find that false stone.
A play bub. Oh, gross. This magazine is filthy. I'll never get all the sewage off it.
I assume that the false thing, or the stone that we can move, stands out, but I think it's in this wall, and I think it's like right. I'm like laser focused on where I think it is, and I'm not looking to see if I see it. So, elsewhere. So that's probably an error. Maybe it doesn't show up until you mouse over it. That seems pretty lousy, but can't rule it out after that CD that was hidden in a nondescript vase in the previous game. Oh. I saw something flash. Be a lot easier if I could strafe. See something there.
This looks like the kind of money belt the drug dealers are wearing these days. I think I could put this money to a more productive use than any drug dealer could.
So we got some money out of Brave D's fanny pack.
Oh, great, another empty box. Wasn't anyone in charge of removing these things?
Okay, well, I don't see the false stone. Maybe it's in a different sewer. I think it's in this one, and I think I'm just not seeing it. Maybe it's not here yet. But I'm gonna go back and check the walls to see if I get a flashing like interact icon on any of them. I mean, it's gonna be really annoying if I go back and look at this and I just like passed it multiple times. I'm not seeing anything light up. Okay, not a problem. We can. I'm sure if it's necessary for our advancing in the game, I will eventually find it. And it's possible I'm remembering something from a different point in the game, but I'm pretty sure it's in the sewers. That looks a little different. No. Okay. We'll just we'll go ahead and put that on hold for now, and we will eventually find it, I'm sure. But we will go out the other entrance, the other sewer exit. Still pretty squirrely. Yeah, so the other sewer entrance, or the exit to the sewer is right here behind Rook's. Okay, well let's. So the only place we haven't gone to check out that we can currently access, because I think this is locked.
It's all locked up.
Yeah, it's locked. Is the alley behind the Golden Gate Hotel. So let's go hear the sermon about the glories of a vegetarian diet. And of course, there may be something useful back here in addition to Reverend Gary.
And he proclaimed in a mighty voice, "Woe be unto ye, eaters of flesh! Cursed are those who partake of the sausage patties and links and sizzling bacon. Cry
I've
for
heard about
forgiveness,
Crazy
ye
Gary, but we've
ingesters
never
of honey
formally
baked
met.
ham, and all
He appears
other
occasionally in
manner
some
of
nook of
bread."
Chandler Avenue, ranting wildly like a space-age Moses strung out on Demerol and bad scotch.
You! No, not you, the one in the hat. Have you not come to be healed?
No. Actually, I was wondering if you knew where I could get some nice prime rib.
Blasphemer! Know you not the effects of the vile grub that rots within your digestive tract?
Listen, let's leave my digestive tract out of this. All I want to do is ask you a few questions.
There is only one answer, and that is to partake not of the flesh, especially red meat, and choose instead the bulk and fiber of cereals, fruits, vegetables, and especially grains.
Oh, I get plenty of grains, of the fermented variety.
Ah, then you too are an imbiber of the blessed potations. Which do you prefer, rum or vodka?
Bourbon, actually.
I, myself, prefer a nice single malt scotch.
I'll tell you what. If I bring you a bottle of single malt scotch, will you answer some questions?
For a bottle of single malt, I will not only answer your questions, I will bless your family for 3 generations. For now, I must return to my preaching.
Sounds like a bottle of good scotch might loosen up Crazy Gary's tongue. I heard that Sal Lucido, the former owner of the Slice of Heaven pizza parlor, kept a first-rate stash of illegally imported booze somewhere on the street.
Well, we just so happen to have already found that illegally imported booze, so now we just have to hook up Crazy Gary. I don't know where it started us. This is awkward. I'm assuming we can just give it to him like this.
Well, that won't work.
We have to talk to him. Okay, not a problem.
I happen to be in the middle of a very important sermon.
Well, I brought you an offering.
How may I assist you, O venerable giver of the precious potation? That appellation is foreign to me. I have been summoned by a greater power to preach against the forces of red meat and its kin. It is my calling in life, and I fear no man. A name with which I am totally unfamiliar. I saw this man but once, strolling along the thoroughfare. He appeared to drop an article of some sort. When he bent to retrieve it, I espied an object fall from his pocket. It turned out to be a key. You may indeed have the key, and I wish you luck in locating the poor man. My ignorance is regrettable. That appellation is... I have seen the warehouse, but have never entered therein. A name with which I have seen the name advertised, and it speaks to me of unbridled lasciviousness. The fetid aromas billowing from their kitchen are insufferable. For that reason alone, I must forsake their supply of precious single malt Scotch. The cretin is a veritable slaughterhouse. If he approaches to within eyesight, I fairly retch from the foul odor. No. That appellation. Psycho preacher! That's what the foul little man calls me. A curse be upon his pancreas. That nefarious parasite, his very livelihood subsists on polluting the intestines of all the inhabitants in our fair locality. I have waged war upon him and his ilk, and only one of us will live to tell the tale. Ah, the lovely creature who administers at the local newsstand. A sweet flower. Your taste in Scotch is unquestionable. For that fact alone, I can bear the stench of digesting meat emanating from your every pore.
Okay. I have to admit, I think I made a comment earlier about the acting being better in this game, especially from Chris Jones, who I find is a lot better in this one than in Under Killing Moon. But Crazy Gary is, pretty hammy. Let's go ahead and check out Clint's Coco Cabana.
The Coco Cabana was just opened by a reformed bum named Clint. I met him during my last case when he was living in a dumpster in an alley behind Rook's pawn shop.
Yeah.
You know, Clint, some men, they just can't wear a toupee. But it looks pretty good on you.
Yeah, and that's what your mom told me right before I slapped the handcuffs on her like I do every Saturday night.
Insult my mother again, and you'll have to gargle with shampoo to get your new hairdo clean.
Hey, I don't need customers like you, Murphy. Order something or hit the road.
You know, I heard that eating excessive amounts of chocolates can result in hallucinations.
Yeah, and at the moment I'm having a vision of a PI being bludgeoned to death with a blender.
Oh, hey, if you got a blender, why don't you whip me up a chocolate shake? Of course, make it extra thick, like your skull.
Forget it. I had to eat all the chocolate ice cream. The freezer broke.
I'll bet you're out of everything anyway, Mr. Cocoa Junkie.
As a matter of fact, I am. So why don't you come back sometime next year?
Look, buddy, you owe me. Remember last December? Who eased your pain when you ran out of chocolate syrup? Who's the one who found you the piece of Louis' award-winning chocolate pie? Who? Me, that's who.
Fine! You do me one favor, and you expect me to kiss up for the rest of my life? All right, what do you want? Nope, drawing a complete blank. Everyone thought I was nuts until that lunatic moved into the neighborhood. Oh, I wish I could help you. Can't say I've heard of it. Did you know that there's some kind of secret door that comes out of Rusty's funhouse over by the warehouse? I saw the cops open it when they were there last week. Oh, I wish I could help you. It's a warehouse. What do you want me to say? Totally unfamiliar to me. That's the name of the singer down at the Fuchsia Flamingo. The Flamingo seems like a decent club, but there's no chocolate on the menu, so, why bother? Nilo? An open sore on the face of humanity. At one point, I had to choose between living at the Ritz and living in the dumpster. I took the lesser evil. Oh, I wish I could help you. He's that new guy running the electronics shop. That blood-sucking tightwad. He wanted me to pay rent for living in the dumpster outside of his pawn shop. That guy's a real gem. Hell of a cook. Chelsea's a nice girl. But whatever happened between us was over long ago. Don't let the torch she still carries for me stand in your way. All right, you brought me a chocolate pie when I was on... All right, you brought me a chocolate pie when I was on the skids. I'm indebted to you for the rest of my life. You're a god. Happy?
Okay, Clint wasn't super helpful, but I guess he wasn't unhelpful either. So I think we've done everything. We've been everywhere on the street. We can't go into the Golden Gate Hotel. We don't have a key to the warehouse. I think the next thing, I guess we can... It sounded like there might be some other unfinished business with Chelsea, so let's talk to Chelsea.
What's going on?
Well, I got a bunch of cash, but I got nothing to do with it. I figured I'd go out to dinner tonight, but I hate to eat alone. Are you interested?
What, like a date?
No, it'd be more like two friends having a great meal and maybe some stimulating conversation.
I guess that'd be okay. I mean, yeah, that'd be all right. Tex, I haven't really been myself lately, and I really appreciate you looking out for me.
Where should we go? How about Burger Barn? They got great atmosphere at half the price.
I've got a better idea. Why don't you let me make you dinner at my place? It's cheaper than going out. And besides, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. Let's say 8 o'clock?
Well, you talked me into it, Miss Bando.
Oh, I feel so spoiled.
By the way, what should I bring, red or white?
You better bring both.
Finally. After years of relentless pursuit, Chelsea's inviting me over to her apartment for dinner. Oh man, the possibilities are making me woozy. Okay, snap out of it, Murphy, and let's get back to work here. Maybe I should head over to the Ritz and see if Nilo's at the front desk. I'm sure he'll be happy to see me.
Okay, so that was actually what I was waiting to happen, was to have Nilo appear so we can try to get into Thomas Malloy's apartment. So we'll pursue that right now.
Hold it right there, you sneaking piece of slop.
Hello, Nilo. Good to see you, too.
Ain't we polite today? Strolling in here like some kind of sunbeam from heaven. Tell you what, fork over the money you owe me, and I won't kick your butt all the way out into the street. Got a whole new respect for you, snotface. That's more like it.
Look, Nilo, I'm working on a case. If you help me solve it, maybe I'll have money to pay rent next month.
No comprende?
Hey, I had no idea you were bilingual, El Nino.
No one ever talks to me like that. Get the hell out of here, sicko. What now, Pinhead?
Well, now that we're all square, can you take a look at a photo for me?
No comprende?
I said I can use your help.
I heard what you said. It's just my meter ran out. Of course, you see no.
Okay, so I immediately remember that I think if I give him his wallet now, I don't have to pay this $100. So, like I said, I think you have enough money, even if you have the least amount of money possible, to make it through the game. So, I hope this isn't going to bite me in the ass.
So, what's on your mind? Never heard of him. He's the one that used to live in the dumpster. Like I say, once a bum, always a bum. He's that preacher freak out on the street. One of these days, I'm going to shut him up for good. I ain't familiar with that name.
Recognize the man in this photo?
Yeah, I seen him before.
What can you tell me about it?
He used to stay here. Gone now.
Which room did he stay in?
Hey,
What name did he use when he signed in?
Matthews. Tyson Matthews.
Okay. Well, thanks for the help.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. P-Break. Nope. We only stayed here a couple of weeks. Paid up front for 2 months. But he's too late to get a refund. Yeah. They turned that place into a storage unit. I was thinking about buying it. Only I was a little short on capital. Never heard of him. She's the one who sings over at the Flamingo. She's been in here before. I got a few things in mind for her. I've been there a couple of times. The drinks are watered down, the service sucks, but the singer, she's a nice piece of work. What are you asking about me for? Want to ask me out on a date? I ain't familiar with that name. Nope. Nicest guy on the street. Me and him, we talk the same language. I'd like to wipe the smile off that fat guy's face, but he ain't a bad cook. I got a few things I'd like to teach that Chelsea, if you know what I mean. Look, as long as you pay the rent, I don't care if you're the Queen of freaking England.
Apartment A is through the door by Nilo's desk and up the stairs. Nilo's had a hard time keeping tenants, so Malloy was probably the last person to stay in the room. Hopefully I'll find a lead once I get inside.
Okay.
So, this is where Malloy stayed. The beginning of the trail. It's all locked up. What a scumbag. Nilo knew I couldn't get into the apartment without the code, and now he'll probably want to charge me a few $100 for it. At this rate, I'm gonna be broke again in a hurry.
Okay, let's see if Nyla will give us the code without charging us a few $100.
What do you want? I'm busy here.
There's something I forgot to ask you. I figure I paid you enough already, so you owe me.
Well, you figured wrong. You're off by about $500.
Come on, Nilo. You've cleaned me out already. I haven't even got enough money left to buy food.
Oh, boo-hoo. Here, let me give you some back. Ah, you didn't say the magic word. What a sap. So, what do you want to know? How to spot a sucker a mile away? Sucker a mile away, I like that.
Nilo looks around like he's about to sell some government secret and then lets me take a peek in his special notebook. The code is 4827.
Okay, so he could have, and he wanted to rip us off for another 500, which maybe we could have paid if we had it. Which is why, again, I wonder if there's any value to trying to collect additional money. Did I forget it? Okay. I just had a little listexia there. No big deal.
My head feels like it's full of molasses. Yeah, another swell case for San Francisco's favorite punching bag. I suppose the fact that someone knocked me out must mean I'm on the right track. Whoever hit me did a thorough job. Must have interrupted his search of the apartment. Maybe that means he overlooked something.
Okay, that's the start of day 2. I don't know how the guy got in. He didn't know Nilo's code. At least he shouldn't have. But we'll go ahead and we'll look around and see if he missed something. Check, though. I don't see anything in the trash can.
Nice wastebasket. An old rusty hot plate. The luxury of hotel living.
Yeah.
Whoever furnished the Ritz must have bought credenzas in bulk.
Okay. Well, let's look in the drawers here on this drafting desk.
Yeah, it's an old photograph. Look at all.
Reagan ages. No, wait. That's got to be age 3 or age 5. Okay. Reagan age 5. 3. Can't tell if that's a 3 or a 5. I don't think that part matters.
Look at all those. Envelope. Whoever wrote this has worse penmanship than I do. Either that or it's written in some weird language.
Okay. Well, I mean, this part looks like it's English. This looks like it starts with Dear Thomas, but okay.
Whoever wrote.
And I can't examine it beyond that.
Yeah, looks like a business card. This warehouse is just down the street from the Ritz.
Okay, so it looks like you had something in storage at the Acme Storage Co. as well. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's crouch down. Look under the desk. I don't see anything there.
No play, bub. I never look at these personally, but I do remember this one. It was the Amazon Woman edition featuring 37 pages of full-color pictures. Nice.
I love it. I love that every place in the city has a playbub.
Looks like a letter. I wonder who this David Wright is. And more importantly, if Malloy's been to his cabin in Oregon.
Dear Thomas, I was delighted to receive your letter after all these years. It sounds as though your work is progressing well, and I look forward to having a few of our all-night discussions, just like in the old days. You're certainly welcome to stay at my cabin as long as you'd like. It's extremely secluded, a perfect place to get away from prying eyes. I can't meet you for at least a week, but I'll get there when I can. In the meantime, there's a key to the door under the brick by the front steps. I've come across an item I think you will find quite interesting. I look forward to working out an exchange of information. The cabin is located exactly 8.4 miles south-southwest from a small town in Oregon called Salmonberry. You'll probably need to find a good map. It will be good to see you again. Sincerely, David Wright. So we have a new place to go check out in Oregon.
Man, what's this? Looks like a scarf. Ooh, this scarf reeks of cheap perfume. I guess Malloy must have had a lady friend in for a visit. And if the lady friend wore this scarf anywhere else in the neighborhood, she'd be pretty hard to forget. Maybe I should show this thing around and see what I can find out.
Okay, it's weird, but okay.
This looks like a pawn ticket of some kind. Looks like Rook did some business with Mr. Malloy. I wonder if Rook could let me redeem this receipt. Who am I kidding? He'll do anything if the price is right.
Okay, so we have Rook's a pawn receipt for Rook's pawn shop. We can get whatever the heck Thomas Malloy pawned. Is there anything else in here? Let's make sure we don't miss anything. This one box looks like it can move. Yep.
Airport of the Gods. My Uncle Marty owned a whole series of these books. Go-Karts of the Gods, Lunch of the Gods. I loved this book when I was a kid. Aliens, spaceships, mysterious structures. Then I grew up and realized it was all a load of crap.
So this is about like the Nazca lines. As made famous by the hit motion picture Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Let's see if there's anything else to do here.
I shudder to think about all the butts that have sat in that cushion through the ages.
I almost missed this.
Damn, no spare change under here. Looks like Malloy made a special llama pal back in his younger days.
Yeah, so this is just going more into the Nazca line stuff. But as you can see, we immediately have a much fuller inventory than at any point in Under a Killing Moon. We have some leads. We have a pawn shop ticket. We know that there's something at the Acme storage. So I think we should try to go figure out those situations next.
Oh man, Chelsea's gonna kill me. I didn't realize how long I was out. God, almost 16 hours. I was out cold straight through our dinner date. She is never gonna believe me.
Yeah, so if you're unconscious for 16 hours, you definitely have brain damage. That's not something that should happen, but let's go up to... I should say, that's not something that should happen as a result of being hit on the head.
This door is to my...
That can happen, like if you're drugged. But just getting hit on the head, you should not lose consciousness. for that kind of time period. Let's go check our office.
That's the way.
We should have that $100 from the crossword puzzle. There it is.
Ooh, piece of mail. And for once, it doesn't look like a past due notice.
Nice. So we got another $100 there. We are the first person to solve that crossword puzzle, I guess, in the whole of San Francisco. Very proud of us for that. Is there anything on the fax machine? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So we have several places we can go next. We should probably talk to Chelsea at some point. But we also need to attempt to retrieve the item that Malloy pawned to Rook and check out the warehouse where we also have potentially something from Malloy and maybe a place to use this. Malloy's key. Where'd that go? Right here. And, you know, we also can go visit that location in Oregon. Right, so we can go to the cabin in Oregon. We can go to Chelsea's apartment, which is probably where we have to go and apologize for being knocked unconscious. We can go visit Mac Malden, the police station. We haven't done that yet. And hopefully we can get something at Brooks Pawn Shop and also at the Acme warehouse to help with the investigation. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that next time. We'll go ahead and call that a video for now. So next time we will continue our investigation and try to discover what happened to Thomas Malloy. See you then.